There are days when your mind feels like a battlefield, loud, restless, unrelenting. Thoughts collide like clashing armies, worries march endlessly, and no matter how much you try to quiet the noise, it only seems to grow louder. It's as if peace has become a stranger, slipping further away each time you reach for it. You lie in bed at night, your body begging for rest, but your mind spins uncontrollably, replaying old mistakes, imagining worst-case futures, analyzing problems with no solution in sight. You wake exhausted, your chest heavy, your spirit unsettled, wondering if life is always meant to feel this way. This is the reality of a disturbed mind, not a weak mind, not a broken mind, but a mind carrying too much weight for too long. And yet, hidden beneath the storm is a possibility, the chance to reclaim calm, to restore balance, to discover a deeper resilience within yourself. Your mind may feel like your enemy right now, but it is also your greatest ally if you can learn to understand it, nurture it, and guide it back to peace. The psychology of a disturbed mind is layered and complex. At its core, disturbance is often the result of overwhelm. The human brain is not designed to process endless streams of stress, information, and emotional strain without rest. In today's world, however, that is exactly what it is forced to do. Notifications buzz, demands pile up, comparisons never end, and before you know it, your thoughts become scattered, anxious, restless. Psychologists call this cognitive overload, the mind's attempt to juggle more than it can carry. Add to this unresolved pain from the past, unhealed wounds of rejection or loss, and the pressure of uncertainty about the future, and the mind becomes a cauldron of turmoil. This is why so many people feel constantly disturbed, not because they are incapable, but because they are human beings living in conditions that constantly strain their natural balance. Yet disturbance doesn't only come from external stressors. Much of it comes from within, from the silent habits of thought that run unchecked. Overthinking, for example, is one of the greatest thieves of calm. Instead of allowing a thought to pass, the disturbed mind circles around it, dissecting every angle, obsessing over every possibility, replaying scenarios long past or not yet arrived. What begins as a single worry becomes a storm of endless what-ifs and should-haves. Then there is self-criticism, the relentless inner voice that whispers you are not enough, not capable, not deserving. That voice is often inherited from childhood experiences, from cultural conditioning, from a lifetime of comparisons. But because it sounds like your own, you mistake it for truth. Over time, this constant inner attack erodes confidence, fuels anxiety, and leaves the mind restless and raw. Another root of disturbance is unresolved emotion. Many people are taught to suppress feelings. Don't cry, be strong, move on. But emotions unexpressed do not vanish. They bury themselves in the subconscious, resurfacing as irritability, tension, or unexplained anxiety. The disturbed mind is often a messenger, trying to tell you something is unhealed, something is asking to be acknowledged. Ignoring that message only deepens the unrest. Healing begins not by silencing emotions, but by listening to them, allowing them space, and understanding what they are pointing toward. Disturbance also thrives in uncertainty. The human brain craves predictability, but life offers no guarantees. When the future feels uncertain, whether in relationships, careers, or health, the mind races to create scenarios to fill in the unknown. This is natural, but when left unchecked, it becomes chronic worry. Instead of living in the present, the disturbed mind lives in imagined futures, creating fear about events that may never happen. In this way, the mind becomes both prisoner and guard, trapping itself in cages of its own creation. But here is where hope emerges. The same mind that creates disturbance also carries within it the power to create calm. Just as habits of overthinking, self-criticism, and worry can be learned, so too can habits of stillness, compassion, and resilience. The path to healing is not about erasing every negative thought, but about shifting the relationship you have with your thoughts. It is about moving from battle to dialogue, from judgment to curiosity, from suppression to acceptance. Psychology teaches us that thoughts are not facts, they are events in the mind, rising and falling like waves. When you learn to observe them rather than obey them, they lose their power to disturb you. The first step toward healing a disturbed mind is awareness. Too often people live on autopilot, consumed by thoughts without realizing they are consumed. But when you pause and notice, my mind is restless right now. My thoughts are racing, my chest feels tight. You create a gap between yourself and the disturbance. In that gap lies choice. You can choose to breathe, to ground yourself in the present, to release the thought rather than chase it. Awareness transforms disturbance from an uncontrollable storm into weather you can navigate. The second step is compassion. A disturbed mind is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of struggle. Imagine a friend carrying too many heavy bags at once. You would not criticize them for stumbling. You would offer help, lighten their load, remind them to rest. Your mind deserves the same compassion. Instead of berating yourself for feeling restless or anxious, speak gently. It's okay that I feel unsettled. It's okay that I am struggling. This moment will pass. Self-compassion calms the nervous system, reduces inner conflict, and creates the safety needed for healing. The third step is action. not in the sense of fixing everything at once, but in the sense of small, consistent practices that restore balance. Movement helps a walk, a stretch, a simple breathing exercise. Expression helps writing your thoughts in a journal, sharing your feelings with someone you trust, creating art or music as an outlet. Rest helps allowing yourself sleep, stillness, or even short pauses throughout the day. Each of these actions tells the mind, you are cared for, you are not alone, you are safe. Over time, these small choices accumulate into resilience. But beyond practices, healing a disturbed mind requires a shift in perspective. Many people live with the belief that life must be free of disturbance in order to be peaceful. But peace is not the absence of storms. It is the ability to remain centered within them. You cannot prevent uncertainty. You cannot erase every worry. You cannot control every outcome. But you can learn to stand in the middle of life as chaos with a grounded heart and a steady breath. You can train your mind to return, again and again, to the present moment, where peace always waits beneath the noise. This is where motivation becomes essential. Healing is not a passive process. It requires courage, persistence, and hope. There will be days when the mind feels too loud, when disturbance feels overwhelming. On those days, the temptation will be to give up, to surrender to the noise. But those are the days when you must remind yourself why calm matters. A calm mind is not only a gift to you, it is a gift to everyone around you. When your mind is steady, your relationships become deeper, your work becomes clearer, your joy becomes more accessible. Healing your mind is not selfish. It is an act of love, both for yourself and for the world you touch. And so, the path of healing is not a quick fix, but a lifelong journey. There will always be moments of disturbance, but each one is an invitation to practice, to grow, to strengthen your ability to return to calm. Every breath you take with awareness, every act of self-compassion, every moment of presence, is a step on that path. Over time, the disturbed mind transforms not into a mind free of storms, but into a mind that knows how to find stillness within them. That is true healing. So now imagine the life that becomes possible when you no longer live at the mercy of disturbance. Imagine waking with a lighter heart, moving through your day with clarity, ending your nights in rest instead of restless replay. Imagine challenges arriving but not overwhelming you, emotions arising but not drowning you, uncertainty unfolding but not destabilizing you. Imagine trusting yourself to handle life as it comes, not because you have control, but because you have calm. That life is possible. It is not reserved for the few, nor is it beyond your reach. It is built step by step, practice by practice, choice by choice. And the first choice begins now with you. So let us close with this truth. Your mind is not broken. It is not your enemy. It is a garden, overgrown with weeds of worry, doubt, and fear, but still filled with seeds of peace, strength, and wisdom. The disturbance you feel is not a verdict. It is a signal, a call to tend to your inner world. You do not need to silence every thought, nor solve every problem tonight. You only need to begin nurturing the soil, one breath, one act of kindness toward yourself, one moment of presence at a time. As you do, the weeds lose their hold, and the seeds of calm begin to grow. Every journey toward healing begins with a single act of courage, and for many, that act is simply choosing not to give up. When your mind feels disturbed, it's easy to think you've lost your way, that peace is reserved for others, that perhaps you are simply not meant to feel balanced or whole. But those are lies your fears tell you, and you must learn to see them for what they are. Echoes of pain, not prophecies of your future. Healing doesn't happen overnight. It is not a switch you flip but a path you walk. Some days you will feel progress, other days you may feel like you've gone backward, and still others you may wonder if the effort is worth it. But growth is never a straight line. Think of a seed buried beneath the soil. For weeks there may be no visible sign of life. Yet beneath the surface roots are forming, pushing through the darkness quietly, preparing for the moment it will break into the light. Your healing works the same way, even when you don't see immediate results. Your small acts of self-care, your moments of awareness, your quiet breaths in the face of chaos are reshaping you, building a foundation for peace. The disturbed mind wants instant solutions, but the wise mind knows that lasting peace grows slowly, with patience and consistency. And you are capable of patience. You are capable of consistency. With each passing day, your practice of nurturing your inner garden will transform the landscape of your thoughts. You will notice the moments when calm comes more quickly, when self-compassion replaces criticism, when clarity replaces chaos. These are not accidents, they are the harvest of your persistence. And the more you cultivate them, the stronger they will grow. Remember, healing does not mean your storms disappear. It means you trust yourself to weather them with grace, to know that no storm lasts forever, and that within you, there is always an anchor of strength. The disturbed mind tells you that you are powerless. Healing reminds you that you are far more resilient than you ever believed, that resilience is your truth, and the more you lean into it, the more unshakable your peace will become. The psychology of a disturbed mind teaches us why storms arise. The path of healing shows us how to weather them. But the motivation to walk that path must come from within, from your decision to no longer let the noise dictate your life. You deserve peace. You deserve rest. You deserve a mind that feels like a home rather than a battlefield. And the beautiful truth is that peace has always been possible. It is waiting now, within you, ready to rise the moment you choose it. So choose it. Choose calm. Choose healing. Choose to believe that your disturbed mind is not your destiny, but the beginning of your transformation. For even the stormiest skies, given time, always clear, and beyond the storm, there is always light.